Are you ready to ride the wave? That is the wave ruler. Stick around today and we'll show you how to use them. I'm Kim Sandberg.
And I'm Christina Whitney.
Welcome to Watch and Learn. Today we want to go through all of the wave rulers, right?
We do. So we've got some new wave rulers. Some of them are just renamed, but let's talk about them. There's 4 rulers here.
I love the wave rulers. I think they are some of my absolute favorites. So which one do you want to start with?
All of them.
All of them?
I can't pick. I'll just pick up the first package.
All right.
So this first package is our wiggle wave.
Very fun name.
Yes. Then we've got our smooth wave, followed by the tidal wave.
Very cool.
And our
ripple wave. So much, the names are so much more fun than the previous names, which were like wave A, wave B, wave C. So some of these may look pretty familiar, but they are, they're just really fun rulers. So let's get down to just kind of the nuts and bolts of how to use these rulers.
Okay, so I'm just going to pull out this wiggle wave to begin with. Oh, and also I pulled some handy grip that you can add to the back of your rulers also if you want to actually like stick a little bit more while you're quilting. But this wiggle wave, you'll notice that it's got some numbers on here. So right here, it's got 3 by 1/2 and 1.5 by 1.5, or 1.5 by 1/2. Now what that means is the first number, the 3, is like from top point to top point is 3 inches.
Okay.
And then the up and down is the 1/2 inch.
Okay.
Now the bottom, it's 1.5 inches from here to here. And then from the high to the low is 1/2 inch.
Okay, I wondered exactly how those numbers worked out. So
Yeah.
good.
So
tip.
here's a test. This is a 10 by 2.
Okay.
What does
So
that 10 mean?
the 10 would be when you line it up from the top of the wave to the top of the next wave. And obviously this ruler is only half of the wave. So, and then the 2 is from the top here to the bottom here. From the top of the wave to the bottom of the wave.
Yeah, but if I flip it upside down and we use this wave,
Then I have
that
to read upside
is
down.
10 inch by 1 inch.
10 inch by 1 inch. So it's a little bit of a shallower wave.
Now this one's not quite as shallow. It's got 3/4 inch for this bottom one and 1.5 inch for the top one.
Very cool. And it's only 4-inch spread on those waves.
That's a good word for it, the spread.
spread.
Okay, so let's look at the ripple wave. The spread on the top is 6 inches. The up and down is 3/4 inch.
Okay.
The spread on the bottom one is 3 inches with the up and down 3/4 inch.
Okay.
Okay, so each one of these rulers has 2 different waves.
Right.
Bonus.
Seriously.
2 for the price of 1.
I love that.
Okay, so I'm going to play with the wiggle wave for just a minute, and I want to point out some of the markings. So I'm going to bring my machine over here, and I'm just going to bring up my bobbin thread. I'm not going to do stitching on a real quilt today, but I want you to be able to see how you could use these. Okay, so if you look closely, each one of our wave rulers has a line here that says needle stop, and one here that says needle stop. Those lines line up with each other to repeat the wave. So if I start at that stop point, I'm just going to stitch along. Always maintaining control of the ruler. And I'm going to stop at that stop point. Now I can shift the ruler over to that same corresponding spot and just continue on, smoothly continuing that wave. So you can do this throughout a border or any long piece of the quilting. How's that look?
Looks great.
Isn't that fun?
It is.
Okay. Another mark that we have on the ruler is this line here. This is our 1/4 inch echo. Sorry, 1/2 inch. So if I wanted to make a 1/4 inch channel, I could line the edge of the ruler up with the stitch line, or I'm going to move the machine up just a little bit here. I can line up that edge line and do a 1/2 inch echo. Just gonna bring that back. I'm going to pause that machine so I can make sure I'm staying in position. Adjust my hand. See how that creates that fun little channel there?
Oh, it's perfect.
We can even continue it on. Again, just lining up the previous stitch line with my etch line. So that's kind of giving me a base. I could go back and do like maybe some circles inside the wave right here. Or I know what your favorite thing to use the wave ruler for, or one of them.
Yeah, is to create a spine for feathers.
Yeah, so I could just do some feathers right off of this spine. So again, this is kind of like the framework.
Right.
Now here's a picture of a little sample that I made. And I used all of these different waves and just created channels, but then went back and did a fun fill in between each of the channels. You also have your grid etchings on the ruler, which you can use to line things up. Now you'll notice this line right here, this kind of solid line. Some people think that, oh, if I line that up, like I'm gonna draw on here, I'm gonna draw my seam line. If I line that right up on my seam, I'm gonna stitch right to it. That is not the case because the foot, the needle will actually be 1/4 of an inch away. So you would use your lines here and bump it down. So see how instead of using the solid line, I'm using the next registration mark, that dotted line. Now I would stitch all the way to my seam line. Okay, so those are our wave rulers. Should we stitch a couple more?
We sure can.
Okay, let's do the smooth one and we'll see the difference. Okay, so stitching along with the smooth wave. And I want to remind everybody to make sure when you're doing this that you have your ruler base on and your surefoot. Now this time I'm going to be wild and crazy and I'm going to do the other side just to see what happens. I might go into my previous Okay, so you can kind of see that one's a little bit deeper. This one's pretty shallow. If I were to use this one, pretty shallow. This one's more ripply. Oh, it's called the ripple wave.
It's called the ripple wave. I love that.
I am so smart. And this one just wiggles. So,
I think they're all great names.
yes. So in addition to what we just talked about, because we didn't do a whole lot of stitching, but there are some great designs that you can do with these rulers.
Yeah.
So if you look on the back of the packages, you can see some different ideas. So like right here is similar to what we just did, where we did little echoes to create those channels. You can use parts of it to make designs, flipping them upside down and right side up to create that same wave, but offsetting it.
If you purchase some of these, it's a good idea to hang on to this so that you have these to refer to for some fun design ideas.
Yep.
All right, well, thanks for joining us today. Be sure to use that hashtag Handi Quilter if you'd like to see your quilt featured at the end of one of our Watch and Learn videos. Be sure to give us a like and subscribe, and have fun quilting.